Fans across the U.S. are mourning the loss of a Jacksonville rapper. That's our top story tonight. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm Anthony Austin.
I'm Heather Crawford. Lil Poppa, born Janarius Wheeler, has died at the age of 25. The medical examiner's office in Fulton County, Georgia, confirming his death to us. The Jacksonville native built a loyal fan base. Christina Burgess has been speaking with those who grew up with him. And Christina, they tell you that his legacy...
What if the crash was not the breaking point, but only the final spark? When news began circulating that Lil Poppa had allegedly taken his own life following a car accident, the story immediately sent shockwaves through social media.
Live on.
Heather and Anthony, Lil Poppa was more than just a rapper. He was a hometown dream turned reality. At just 25 years old, he built a powerful voice for himself in the music industry. Now, as friends, family, and fans try to process his sudden loss, those who grew up beside him say that he was bigger than just music.
First glance, it sounded like another tragic headline in hip-hop, another young artist gone too soon. But as more details surfaced, the timeline raised uncomfortable questions. Reports suggested the accident itself was not catastrophic.
He was just a great guy. Outside of the music and the artistry, man, he was a good human. And I'll never forget him.
Jacksonville native and music producer Scotty OTH says he grew up with rapper Lil Poppa, and the two shared big dreams.
The vehicle was damaged, but still functional. Instead of chaos, there was communication. He reportedly called his manager after the crash. He met him in a nearby parking lot. And then, while still seated inside the car, a gunshot was heard. There was no public goodbye message, no final post hinting at what was about to happen. Just a sudden, irreversible silence.
He released several fan favorites, including Love and War, Mind Over Matter, and Happy Tears.
You gotta listen to Love and War, Mind Over Matter, Happy Tears. Like, just those three titles alone kind of tells you that somebody isn't in the happiest state of mind, if that makes sense.
Along with projects like Almost Normal Again. Just this past
one, according to early coverage from TMZ, the sequence of events appeared structured rather than impulsive.
Another shocking thing you mentioned in the record was Lil Poppa. Another Jacksonville artist who releases quality music.
Yeah.
He seems to stay to himself. He's not all over the blogs and doing all this. And you mentioned him. What's the history with you and him? How does that correlate?
Shit, we got songs too. We got songs out on YouTube and shit. But shit, we just got in the we fought. I beat his ass type shit. I had beat his ass and shit in the mall and shit. Me and my little cousin Coach had beat his ass in the mall and shit. And that just was that. That shit on, you know what I'm saying? That just was that.
How do you go from making songs with somebody to fighting? Like, what?
That detail alone shifted the tone of the conversation. When someone coordinates a meeting after an accident, it suggests a level of awareness and composure. It forces people to wonder whether the crash was truly the cause or merely the trigger for something much deeper that had been building for months. The public often tries to reduce tragedy to a single moment, a single decision, a single emotional spike. But mental strain rarely develops overnight. It accumulates quietly, layering pressure upon pressure until the weight becomes invisible, yet overwhelming. In the days that followed, the internet did what it always does. It began dissecting everything. Old lyrics were replayed. Past interviews were social media posts were screenshotted and circulated as if they were coded confessions. Some fans claimed they saw signs of exhaustion and emotional heaviness in his music long before the tragedy. Others argued that artistic expression should not be mistaken for literal autobiography. The problem with hindsight is that it can make anything look prophetic. When an artist speaks about pain, struggle, or paranoia in a song, listeners only attach deeper meaning after something devastating occurs. But music is often therapy, not testimony. At the same time, the environment surrounding Jacksonville's rap scene added another layer of complexity. The city has long been known for intense rivalries, online taunts, and escalating tensions between opposing groups. When discussions resurfaced about conflicts connected to Julio Foolio, speculation grew louder. It is important to separate verified facts from internet theories. No official reports confirmed direct involvement or responsibility in any broader conspiracy narrative. Yet that did not stop online communities from constructing their own. In today's digital culture, perception spreads faster than proof. Commentary platforms, including voices like 1090 Jake, analyze the broader climate of tension in Jacksonville. While analysis is not accusation, the amplification of surrounding conflict can intensify public scrutiny. When your name is circulating in discussions tied to violence, rivalries, or retaliation, even indirectly, the psychological toll can be immense. Fame does not shield someone from fear. It magnifies it. Every rumor feels heavier. When thousands of people are debating your character in real time, success in music often creates the illusion of stability. Streams rise, followers grow, shows sell out. From the outside, it looks like progress and power. But success does not erase trauma. It does not neutralize anxiety. It does not silence intrusive thoughts. In fact, rapid fame can introduce new stressors, contractual obligations, financial pressure, loyalty expectations, public criticism, and the constant demand to maintain an image. For artists navigating environments where reputation can influence safety, that pressure multiplies. The need to appear strong can prevent honest conversations about vulnerability. The crash, in this context, may have represented a breaking moment rather than a breaking cause. High-stress individuals sometimes operate on emotional autopilot. They handle one crisis after another until a seemingly minor event disrupts their internal balance. The accident may have been physically survivable, but psychologically symbolic. A sudden jolt, a pause, a moment alone in a vehicle with thoughts that had been stacking up for too long. When stress reaches a certain threshold, decision-making can become distorted within seconds. That does not require conspiracy. It requires accumulation. Another critical factor is the role of online ecosystems in shaping identity. Social media does not merely reflect public opinion. It accelerates it. A rumor posted in one forum becomes a trending topic within hours. Speculation transforms into narrative. Narrative transforms into assumed truth. For someone already managing internal battles, watching strangers debate your morality can feel suffocating. Even if accusations lack evidence, repetition can make them feel inescapable. The digital age has created a reality where silence is interpreted as guilt, and response is interpreted as confirmation. That is also important to recognize. How hip-hop culture often glorifies emotional resilience while stigmatizing emotional vulnerability. Strength is associated with stoicism. Admitting fear or anxiety can be perceived as weakness. In high-conflict environments, projecting confidence becomes a survival mechanism. But suppressed stress does not disappear. It compounds. When artists channel their struggles into lyrics, fans celebrate authenticity. Yet, when those struggles manifest in real life, the same audiences often react with shock. The contradiction reveals a deeper cultural tension. We applaud pain in art, but struggle to confront pain in reality. Financial success can complicate matters further. With growth comes responsibility for family, for friends, for team members. Expectations increase. Every move becomes strategic. Every association is scrutinized. For young artists who rise quickly, the transition from neighborhood recognition to national visibility can be disorienting. Trust becomes scarce. Privacy becomes limited, and the line between genuine support and opportunistic attachment blurs. Isolation can grow even in crowded rooms. After the tragedy, some online voices framed the situation as guilt. Others framed it as fear. Some attributed it purely to depression. The truth may involve elements of multiple pressures converging simultaneously. Human psychology is rarely linear. It is shaped by environment, history, perception, and immediate circumstance. Attempting to compress a complex life into a single headline oversimplifies reality. We may never know the precise thoughts present in those final moments. What we can acknowledge is that sustained stress alters cognitive processing. It narrows perspective. It magnifies perceived threats. It diminishes long-term reasoning. The broader lesson extends beyond one individual. The music industry has repeatedly witnessed young artists lost to violence, overdose, or self-inflicted harm. Each time, conversations erupt about mental health, about community responsibility, about systemic pressure. Yet sustained structural change remains slow. Access to mental health resources within the entertainment world is inconsistent. Cultural barriers discourage therapy, and the fast-paced nature of fame leaves little room for decompression. When combined with local rivalries and online amplification, the emotional environment can become combustible. Another overlooked dimension is survivors' stress within conflict-heavy regions. When peers face incarceration or violence, even those not directly involved can internalize tension. Anticipatory anxiety becomes constant. Hyper-awareness becomes routine. Living in that state for extended periods taxes the nervous system. It impacts sleep, concentration, and emotional regulation. Add the expectation to perform publicly, and the strain intensifies. Speculation will likely continue. That is the nature of internet culture. But responsible discussion requires boundaries. There is a difference between analyzing public context and assigning blame without evidence. It is possible to explore environmental factors while refraining from definitive conclusions. The focus should remain on understanding systemic pressures rather than fueling rumor cycles. Ultimately, this situation highlights a paradox within modern celebrity. Visibility increases opportunity, yet it also increases vulnerability. The same platforms that elevate artists can overwhelm them. The same audiences that celebrate them can dissect them. And the same narratives that generate engagement can generate unbearable weight. Tragedy rarely emerges from a single incident. It grows from layered circumstances, interacting in volatile ways. If there is any constructive outcome from examining this story, it should be a renewed emphasis on mental health support, particularly for young artists navigating high-conflict spaces. Emotional resilience is not infinite. Strength does not mean silence. And fame does not immunize anyone against despair. The conversation should shift from sensational speculation to preventative awareness. In the end, the most haunting element is not the accident itself, nor the rumors that followed. It is the reminder that internal battles often remain invisible until it is too late. Behind every headline is a human being carrying pressures unseen by the public. Understanding that complexity does not erase tragedy, but it may help prevent future ones.